So after the energy flow, then we have another topic, that is ecological pyramids. So we are very much aware of the pyramids actually, right? We have seen the pyramids, right? Like the pyramids are something like this, right? This is the shape how the pyramids are, in which we have seen that base of the pyramid is broad, and as you go up in the pyramid, so it will be shorter and shorter. I mean, it will be constricted as you go up, right? So when you draw the pyramids of the different ecological uh, perspective, like the pyramids of number, pyramids of biomass, pyramids of energy, right? I mean, if you just draw the different trophic levels, so you will get a pyramid like a structure, right, where the apex is narrow and the base is very broad, right? So in the ecological perspective, if we sketch or if we express the food or energy or any relationship, right, food, energy or other relationship between the organisms and the different trophic level, so we will get the structure which is very similar to the pyramid, right? And here we express these relationship in three different terms. We express the relationship between the organisms and the trophic level in terms of number first, in terms of biomass, and third in terms of energy we'll discuss, right? So three different type of pyramids we'll get, right? So what happens here, the base of the pyramid like this, if we consider this is a pyramid, so base of the pyramid, it is showing the producer, whether it is number, biomass or energy, it won't matter, right? So they are producers, right? And they are also called the first trophic level. Okay, we had discussion yesterday that that is the first trophic level, while the apex, which represents the top level of consumer, like this, suppose this is producer, this is the consumer, right? This is C1, consumer 1, this is C2, this is C3. So apex of the pyramid, this one, right, this portion, it represents the top consumer, right, or tertiary consumer we can say, right? Top consumer or tertiary consumers, they are there at the top of that, right? And here, as we took the terms like number, biomass, energy, so three different kind of pyramid will get. So these are named as pyramid of number, then pyramid of biomass, if we took the biomass, and if we took the energy, I mean, we draw the pyramid between the organism and the trophic level in terms of energy, then we'll get the pyramid of energy, right? So how these pyramid looks in the ecological perspective, so here it is given in the book, right? So here first we discuss this first 14.4, this is nothing but the pyramid of number, right? So how we can sketch the pyramid of number? So first of all, we put the number of the organisms or number of the producers, actually number of producers in that ecosystem. So this is very huge number, this number, right? So this is producer at the first trophic level, and the producers have been eaten by the primary consumers. So this is the primary consumer, and of course the number, if you count the number will be very less than that of the producers of the primary consumers. So this is the number of the primary consumers, okay? And as you go up, then secondary consumer, this is secondary consumer, again the number will become less. And if you look at the top consumer, this is only 3. See, only 3 top consumers are there. So if it is a grassland ecosystem, suppose if it is a grassland ecosystem, so in the grassland ecosystem, for maintaining the 3 consumers only or 3 top consumers only, the large number of producers, they are playing their role in the ecosystem, right? For approximately 6 million plants are there for maintaining the 3 top consumers only. So see here you can see the pyramid where the base is very broad and the top is very narrow. So the pyramid of number, and this is a number of, pyramid of number of grassland ecosystem, right? So this looks like this. So this kind of pyramid is called upright pyramid, right? This is called upright pyramid. UPRIGHT, right? This is upright pyramid, where the base is broader and the apex is narrow. Okay. Then second pyramid here shown is the pyramid of biomass, right? So in any ecosystem, if you look at the biomass, maybe you can consider the grassland ecosystem. So if you consider the biomass of these 6 million plants, then biomass would be approximately 809 kg per meter square, right? And if you move ahead, in the up direction, next trophic level, this is the first trophic level of producer, this is the second trophic level of the primary consumer, this is PC, they are abbreviating. So here the biomass is 37 and top consumer, their biomass is only 1.5 kg per meter square, right? So see, the biomass is decreasing as you move on the up, if you move up in the different trophic level of the pyramid of biomass, right? Right. So this is a typical, maybe the grassland ecosystem, and this pyramid, what we obtained is the upright again. ये भी कैसा है? Upright pyramid we get, right? But if you look at the some other ecosystem, like if we look at the pond ecosystem, suppose, right? If you look at the, or if you sketch the pyramid of biomass, right? If you sketch the pyramid of biomass again, this is also the pyramid of biomass, keep in mind. But this is also the pyramid of biomass, but of another ecosystem, like pond ecosystem, suppose. So if you look at the pond ecosystem and you calculate the biomass of the producers, phytoplanktons, you will get the biomass of phytoplankton would be the 4 kg per meter square. Less than that of the primary consumers. Here, this is zooplankton, right? This primary consumer is the zooplanktons. So zooplankton's biomass is more than that of the producer. So in this case, if you sketch the graph, then it won't be upright, right? ये upright नहीं होगा, right? ये inverted हो जाएगा. So this graph is called inverted, right? This is inverted. So the pyramid of biomass may be upright or may be inverted also, depends. It depends upon the type of ecosystem, right? In which ecosystem you are sketching the pyramid, right? So you keep in the mind here the pyramid of biomass may be inverted also, and this is the very good example here. This is a pond ecosystem, right? Where the biomass of the primary consumers are more than that of the producer, right? And third pyramid here shown is the pyramid of energy. This is very important actually, right? So here, this is the energy of sunlight, right? Sunlight, this is approximately 10 lakhs joule, right? 10 lakh joule of sunlight, they are coming onto the any ecosystem, right? And we have discussed earlier in the yesterday's class, in the previous class, that plants, they absorb only 1 to 2% of PAR, right? 1 to 2% of PAR they are absorbing, right? This is the energy of sunlight, keep in the mind. So plants absorb only 1 to 2%. So if you calculate the 1% of 10 lakhs, so it will be approximately 10,000 joules. So plant will get 10,000 joule energy from the sunlight. So here, see, this is not the 10% law, right? Ye 10% nahi. From here, it will be follow 10% law or 10% rule of Lindemann, right? But here they are absorbing the sunlight, and only 1 to 2% sunlight, or only 1 to 2% of the power has been absorbed by the plant, and maximum 10%, not more than that. Okay. So here we are calculating only 1%, right? And then, so these are the producer. This is the first trophic level. Then producers have been had by the consumers. So 10% energy has been transferred. How much? 10%. Again 10%. So 10,000 का 10% कितना हो गया? So 1,000. So 1,000 joule has been transferred to the primary consumer and 90% has been lost. 90% energy क्या हो जाएगा? Lost in the form of heat, in the form of sound, in other forms, right? So only 10% has been transferred. So here also 10%. So here see, then 1,000 ka 10%, 100 joule, and then 10 joule. So top consumer, they get only 10 joule of the energy from the 10,000 joules. Okay, and the energy flow is always upright. I mean, it cannot be inverted actually. So the pyramid of energy is always upright, always, right? So we can write here, this is always upright. Okay, pyramid of energy का कोई भी exception ऐसा नहीं है कि वो inverted हो, right? Pyramid of biomass, pyramid of number, they may be upright or inverted. जैसे यहाँ पे हमारे बुक में एग्जांपल ही दिया हुआ है pyramid of biomass का inverted, but pyramid of number can also be inverted. We have some written content in the book, right? And we'll see how the pyramid of number gets also inverted. But the pyramid of energy may be, or it will be always upright. So no inverted pyramid, you will get the energy ka, right? So these are the three different pyramids that we get in the different ecological perspective. Okay, and here to calculate the energy content, yeah, Kosa, you start reading from here.
सर स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रही है.
Just a minute. Yeah, now you can read.
In the calculations of the energy content, biomass or number has to include all the organisms at that trophic level. No generalization we make will be true if we take only a few individuals at any trophic level into account. Also, a given organism may
If you
occupy more than.
just a minute. So just a minute. Here, see. So for making any pyramid, it is essential to take all the organisms in ecosystem at that trophic level, right? All the organisms. By taking individuals, it is not possible to make the pyramid. So all the organisms at that trophic level has to be taken into the consideration. आगे बढ़ो. Also,
Also, a given organism may occupy more than one trophic level simultaneously. One must remember that the trophic level represents a functional level, not a species as such. A given species may occupy more than one trophic level in the same ecosystem at the same time. For example, a sparrow is a primary consumer when it eats seed, fruit, peas, and a secondary consumer when it eats insect and worms. Can you work out how many trophic levels human beings function at in a food chain?
Okay. Okay, all right. So see here another important thing that we'll take all the organisms in that trophic level in a particular ecosystem, not the few individuals for making the pyramid. Apart from that, what happens actually many times, more than one species, or sorry, more one species may take more than one trophic level. I mean, एक species एक से ज़्यादा trophic level में involve होते हैं for their functionality, right? And इस तरह के as well as they act as second consumer. So when primary consumer, when they have the seed, fruit, peas, right? So they are primary consumer. But when they eat insect, right? When it eats insect, worm, then they are secondary consumer. But sparrow is a part of a particular ecosystem. So it would make a bit difficulty, right? We discussed in the latter part of this discussion that the pyramids can only be made when the food chain exists. If you consider the food web, then it is very difficult to sketch the pyramid, right? Any pyramid, right? So here normally we ignore the presence of those species which may occupy more than one trophic level. Okay, but it happens actually, right? In reality, it happens, right? In reality, it happens that one species may occupy more than one trophic level, but they may complicate the pyramids, right? Okay, all right. Okay, from here you start reading.
In most ecosystems, all the pyramids of number, of energy, and of biomass are upright. That is, producers are more in number and biomass than the herbivores, and the herbivores are more in number and biomass than the carnivores. Also, energy at a lower trophic level is always more than at a higher level.
Yeah. So this is a normal trend actually, general trend where the pyramids of number and energy in upright normally. Okay, where the producers are much more than the consumers, right? And the primary consumers are more than the secondary consumers. So the energy also, the energy at lower trophic level will be high, we have seen, than that of the higher trophic level. Okay. This is also true. All right. But some exceptions are also there. Right. There are exceptions to this generalization also that we discussed earlier. Like we discussed the pond ecosystem. Here they are giving another example of a tree ecosystem, right? So on a tree, many insect as well as birds are there, right? In a big tree, suppose single big tree is there, single big banyan tree is there, on which many insect and birds are there, and birds are eating those insects, right? And if you estimate the number of small birds depending upon the insect, right? As also the number of large bird eating the smaller, right? And if you will get the graph, then it will be inverted again. So this is the pyramid of number actually, right? So if you calculate the number of the birds and the insect on a big tree, right? So that would be inverted also. So that's what they're writing. So if you were count to number of insect feeding on a big tree, what kind of pyramid you will get? So it will be inverted, right? So now add an estimate of the number of the small birds on the insect, number of eating small insects. So in this case, the graph will be inverted. The pyramid of number will be inverted, right? So pyramid of biomass in a sea is generally inverted, that we have seen pond ecosystem or sea ecosystem, whatever, right? This is kind of paradox, right? So sometimes it is inverted, sometimes it is upright. So it depends. It depends upon the type of ecosystem. So which kind of ecosystem is running over there, right? But the pyramid of energy is always upright. This is not inverted, right? Never can be inverted actually, because the energy flows from a particular trophic level to the next trophic level. Unidirectional flow हमने पढ़ा ना, energy कैसे flow होती है, unidirectional flow होती है, right? But in this flow, the energy has been lost in the form of heat, in the form of sound, and in other forms. Transfer of one trophic level to the another trophic level, right? So this pyramid or the pyramid of energy will be always upright, right? Okay, all right. So this is a third kind of pyramid, right? But here this paragraph is very important. This paragraph gives us the limitations. So what is the limitations of the pyramid? Right? Any pyramid, whether it is pyramid of number, energy, or the biomass. So limitations are there, certain limitations. So the first limitation is that we should always take those species which have a certain trophic level. They won't occupy the two different trophic levels. This is the first limitation. I mean, the same species belonging to the two or more trophic level, they will make the pyramid bit complicated. Okay, so we are not considering the organisms or the species, those occupying the two trophic level or more than two. हम वो species को लेंगे, but किसी एक ही trophic level में रखेंगे. Then we can make the pyramids nicely. It assumes a simple food chain. Otherwise क्या हो जाएगा? Food web हो जाएगा. If you consider the species having more than two or more than two trophic level, right? So we always consider food chain here, right? Sometimes that almost never exists in nature. I mean, this is the fact actually. They are telling the fact. So food chain always not existing actually. Food web, of course, many species they are following the food web, right? So this is the limitation. So it does not accommodate the food wave. ये food wave को accommodate नहीं कर सकता है. Okay, this is a limitation of the pyramids. Okay. Moreover, saprophytes. See, this is another. This is the first limit. Sorry, this is the first limit, and this is second limitation. Second limitation is that saprophytes, right? Saprophytes are not given any place in the ecological pyramids, even though they play a vital role in the ecosystem, isn't it? Entire detrification has been carried out by the saprophytes, but they are not given any place into the ecological pyramid formation, right? So these two are the limitations of the ecological pyramid, right?